everyone, welcome back to Swiss Home Garden. I am Chitra. In this video, I will be cleaning my pantry and doing an organization tour. My pantry is pretty much organized and it has been like that since many years. But there's always room for improvement to declutter and reorganize. So that's what I will be doing. At the end of it, I will take you through a full tour of this pantry. The kitchen is quite big and I cannot do it all on one day. I usually take about 3 to 4 days to do the whole kitchen. I used to do it all on one day from morning till midnight. That was many years back, but nowadays it's not possible, so I take breaks. I will be using only organic and biodegradable cleaning material. And by the way, this video is not a sponsored video by any company. These are just the products which I like to use and which is also economical. I will be using this cleaner. This is from the company Frosch. This is made in Germany and they have been manufacturing this biodegradable cleaning materials since many years and we like to use them. They're also not that expensive. This is the grease and dirt cleaner and this is just a normal soda cleaner. So let's get started in cleaning up my pantry and organizing my pantry.
The easiest way to clean these cabinets would be to empty its contents, clean the cabinets and then rearrange them back. This will also give you an overview of all the food which you are not using or has expired. These pantry storage boxes are original Tupperware and I got them sometime back from a consultant. In Switzerland, this series is called Supervision. I think in the US it's called Super Storers. They are about 28 centimeters in depth and they fit exactly front to back into these cabinets. Before moving into this house, my intention was to switch back to glass, but after a few smaller accidents, my back and knee will not be permitting me to climb up and down on a regular basis. Moreover, glass is bulky and requires more space and it is not so easily stackable too. There will be a lot of hidden corners at the back of these cabinets. This is my personal experience. These are very practical organizers and I can easily access even the topmost shelf by just stretching a little bit without even the help of a ladder. They are space saving, airtight and have a clear view and are also stackable. These definitely tick the boxes for me personally. For an onlooker, these boxes look a lot, but I cook a lot of varieties and they all come in handy to store different dry foods. I'm also a person who cooks everything from scratch, so all these are very much needed for a from scratch cooking kitchen. Now for cleaning up. First, I will be cleaning all the cabinets with a little bit of soap and then just with plain water to clean it off. The wall cabinets are not touching the ceiling, so there will be a lot of dust on top of these cabinets. The best way to tackle this is I use a Swiffer to clean this part. Swiffer is also very practical to reach all these difficult areas. You can easily extend the stick and bend it and then it is done very easily. My deep cleaning routine is twice a year, early spring and then in autumn. It's quite strenuous but satisfying. The cabinets are hardly ever dirty because of these airtight organizers. The only place which does get dirty are the doors. This is a high traffic area. You can imagine when my little daughter comes to pick up her snacks and her chocolates and the rest leaves to be imagined because of all the greasy little hands which are just walking around everywhere. Because of this, I do the doors at least once a month. The cleaning routine for all these storage boxes are just whenever they get empty. It's easier to maintain that way. I'm sorry to show you my back only for all this cleaning footage because there was no way I could bring in a tripod into these difficult areas. I have about 4 cabinets over here which I use for kitchen pantry storage. 4 of them are towards the wall and the other one is the pull-out pantry next to the refrigerator. For the past couple of years, my cleaning routine is that I usually split it up into stages and it spans for over 4 to 5 days. First, I do all the wall cabinets, then I tackle the drawers below the kitchen counter, then one day for the fridge, and then last will be the baking oven. Also, I have to consider that all my meals are cooked from scratch and there will be a lot of interruptions. That's the reason I split it into 4 to 5 days. Now, after cleaning the wall cabinets, it's time to arrange everything back. Because it's all so easily visible and organized already, I don't need to be breaking my head for any more organization. It's pretty straightforward. After this cleanup, I decluttered even further. It may not be so easily visible, but there is a bag where I have been throwing all the decluttered stuff, and that I will be showing you towards the end. This is also the reason why I like to go through this every 6 months to declutter and make room for new things. Moving to this corner cabinet, this is actually a dead corner and it's not so easy to store. Therefore, I store only the seldom used items like KitchenAid attachments and just a little bit of food on the down shelf. This here is the pull-out pantry. This pantry was actually an afterthought with our kitchen planner. This pantry is also not a straight rectangle and it is at an angle of 45 degrees as you can see. This is because this pantry has to conform to Swiss laws and Swiss building standards. They do this with the view that even a wheelchair should be able to move easily into this kitchen, and I think it's a great idea, but just that it's not very stable because it is at an angle and all the weight has to rest on one side only. It has already kind of buckled a couple of times that we had to fix it, therefore I just store not so heavy items into this pull-out pantry. In that blue bag is where I have been collecting all the decluttered containers and items. This is another corner cabinet. This is very difficult to reach, so I just store all travel boxes, fridge box and an overflow of dry food into those larger boxes. Now let's begin the organized pantry tour. On this side of this pull-out pantry, my daughter has stuck in a few of these to-do list and her wish meal plan onto it. Let's begin the tour with this pull-out pantry. The topmost shelf holds coconut sugar, jaggery, cornstarch, coconut powder, and just below is where I store all the beverages like tea, coffee, decaf, cocoa powder, coffee beans in the bottle and a sugar sprinkler which I use sometimes for cakes. These transparent labels are also from Tupperware. I've also tried to label them using my label maker and sometimes sticking them with chalkboard stickers, but this is what I will be changing in the future. The whole weight is actually resting on only one track and that is just on the other side where there's a bigger surface area. This is also the reason why I cannot store any heavy glass bottles into this pantry. Below this beverage shelf are the spices. Some of them are Italian herbs. Then I also have some nutmeg, coriander powder, cinnamon, cloves, flaxseed with the grinder at the corner at the back. I generally don't categorize anything in this kitchen. It is easy to find things with this organization, except the only thing one couldn't find so easily are chocolates and some secret snacks which I hide. Below this are the shelf which holds some baking items like an overflow of baking powder, molasses, honey, chocolate chips, sunflower seeds, some chia seeds and some vegan fruit-based food colors. Down below is Ayurvedic sugar, egg replacer and some Ayurvedic teas and beverages including some palm sugar and coconut flakes. In the lowermost shelf are some tomato sauces, pickles and extra salt. Let's move on to the cabinet next to the oven. The topmost shelf holds all the food processor blades. In the middle is our snack corner, especially for my daughter. We don't have too many snacks, but she sometimes likes to pack some crackers or granola bars for her school break. She has packed over here her snack in a silver box for the next day. I try to limit snacking so she eats proper meals. But it's actually quite difficult with small kids and it's a constant struggle to get them to eat healthier. So we try to give her healthy alternatives. In the bottom shelf are some baking chocolates and extra crackers in the smaller box. I use this green folder as a kitchen organizer to store some grocery receipts, some warranty papers and some school papers. This saves me the trip to the office upstairs 2 floors above. In this corner cabinet, the purple file holds some random recipes which I print out from the internet, and far behind are the KitchenAid attachments in both the top and the middle shelves. There is also a smaller hand mixer which I use occasionally for mixing smaller quantities of cream or batter. Also some smaller food storage like soup balls in this glass jar, dry fruits and some varieties of puppets behind. This orange canister with the window is used for grinding flour, and actually I like it very much because it just fits perfectly below the stone mill. In the lowermost shelf are some more baking stuff, jam and some upcycled glass bottles for storing leftovers and making yogurt. These 3 wall cabinets are where I store the bulk of my dry goods. On the topmost shelf in this cabinet are some lentils, chutney dal, peanuts, buckwheat, cashew nuts. I used to store some almond powder and flakes here in the smaller containers, but for some time now I've been using the freezer for that. That way they remain fresh and don't turn rancid so quickly. Cashew nuts, I like to keep it here because I love to snack on them sometimes. In the middle shelf, I have managed to empty 4 of these modular mitts, and right now they are empty till I store in some new foods. It's also good to have some extra empty storage boxes in case of new foods coming into the kitchen. Next to the empty boxes are some brown chickpeas, gluten-free flours like rice flour, maize, millet and some more beans like beluga beans and brown lentils. The small yellow bottle is Bach flour infusion and it's called Rescue. This comes very handy in case you cut your fingers. A couple of drops on the wound helps it to heal faster. In the lower shelf, in the smaller boxes, I store some chickpea flour and just leave a couple empty in case of some snacks coming in. And this is a turntable spice rack. This was a pricey one from Tupperware, but it was well worth it. This rack actually needs more space than it looks. That's the reason why I do not store much behind it, so that it turns easier. Because I cook a lot with many different spices, this comes in handy, and then I store some of the overflow here in the bottom rack and then the rarely used spices on top. In the cooking area, I have an Indian spice box for day-to-day cooking and spices which I fill in from here. This cabinet here has all the basic staples to cook a basic main meal. This is what I meant by the practicality of these modular mates. They are 28 centimeters deep and they fit front to back, and they are just perfect for the Swiss kitchen norms. Our kitchen here in this home is slightly bigger than the standard Swiss kitchen, so I have a little bit of extra space in the front. In the previous kitchen, they were just fitting front to back. There's no way any space is wasted because of this organization. The lower shelf holds risotto rice, different varieties of dals, quinoa and some dry fruits and coconut flakes. In the middle shelf, the glass jars hold sugar, castor sugar in the front, which I use for baking sometimes, and brown muscovado sugar at the back. Next to the sugar is some jam sugar, basmati rice, spelt grains and moong dal. On the top are different flours like buckwheat, rye and spelt, and also a smaller box contains polenta. I usually use freshly ground flour, but sometimes it's handy to have a little in stock. Moving to the last of the pantry cabinets, over here are all the breakfast cereals which are stored at the bottom shelf, like corn flakes, puffed spelt grains, rolled oats, dates and raisins. We seldom eat cereal for breakfast, but once in a way my daughter loves to have this puffed cereal. On the other hand, I like to make porridge with this rolled oats. Dates and raisins are ideal for snacking. The middle shelf holds all the grains needed for making idli and dosa batter. I also have some whole pulses like moong beans, chickpeas and lasagna sheets. Whole pulses and beans are a great source to add protein to a vegetarian diet. On the topmost shelf are different varieties of pasta and a small box of red chilies. Towards the wall, we have fixed these spice racks. The top rack holds some of the rarely used spices and herbs. I also have some black Himalaya salt in there. The middle rack holds smaller quantities of baking powder, baking soda, cardamom, ginger powder, vanilla beans. And in the bottom rack are some more Italian herbs and French herbs. To store some of the smaller knives and peelers, we attach this magnet strip to the wood. That way we could avoid drilling some more holes into the wall. The spice racks and magnet strips are from IKEA. They just fit perfectly into this corner. Originally we wanted to make a smaller spice cabinet here, but this would have made the kitchen darker, and this is also a cheaper alternative. With this, I end my pantry tour and organization.
I hope you enjoyed the tour and my organization. Thank you for watching. If you're new to my channel, kindly subscribe. I post one new video every week on food from scratch, Swiss country living and our gardening experiences. Kindly hit that bell button to receive notifications for the latest videos coming up. I'm planning to put in a few more organization and cleaning videos. Until next time, bye-bye.